Welcome, Earthlings! From the minds of Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNabb, we bring you Laughing on a Prayer!
You know, Rob?
I'm not sure that I do.
You know, all girls are squirters if you cut the right artery. Ted Bundy.
Well, with that logic, all boys are also squirters, as are animals, and, well, pretty much anything that uses blood.
Rob, stop squirting.
Make me.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to a very macabre episode of Laughing on a Prayer. I am Dylan Oltoft. I have with me Rob McNabb, and today we are discussing the worst kind of people in the world. The ones that absolutely... I can't be arsed.
Twilight fans.
You know... Close. Not as bad as that, I suppose. I'd say a little bit leaning towards, like, if we had like a D&D alignment sort of chart here, like Twilight fans would be in sort of evil chaotic. I'm talking more like evil lawful.
Evil lawful.
Because a lot of the people we are going to talk about, as we know, actually had rather sophisticated agendas behind them.
Yes, but what they did was definitely not lawful.
No.
It was actually the antithesis of lawful.
But just like in D&D, lawful is not always interpreted in the direct way. It can just mean someone that sticks to their own set of moral principles, or a person that follows through exactly on their word.
Yeah.
Me and Rob are big D&D nerds. We will do a D&D episode at some point.
Oh, yeah, we should.
That'd be fun. In the meantime, they've read the fucking video title. We're doing serial killers. And I'm not talking about someone that eats an entire box of Choco Caramel Shreddies when they get it home from the store because they're so lonely.
Is everything okay at home, Dylan? Is everything okay? Like, at home and all that?
No. But anyway, we are discussing, of course, those very peculiar individuals that come to the conclusion that they just gosh darn have to sort of end as many lives as they can.
Yeah. Just gotta, just going about your daily business. So you're like, you know what? I've got to stack some bodies.
But that's the thing, though. If memory serves, spree killers aren't considered the same as serial killers. Like, even if a spree killer takes out 30 people, they're not considered a serial killer.
No, it's to do with like the time frame in which they do it.
Yeah, if you've murdered someone over a course of like 5 or 10 years, you're a serial killer.
Well, no. So if you've murdered people, so like. If you kill like 3 people within like 30 seconds, you're a spree killer. If you kill 3 people within like a period of like, I don't know, like 3 months, then you're a serial killer. There's a difference, and I believe it's to do with actually how you're prosecuted when you're caught, if you're caught.
Really? So like you could get a different sentence depending on if it was spur of the moment or not. Or maybe, does that go upon the whole like? Insanity plea, because obviously if you've done it over 10 years you can't claim insanity, because insanity by law is defined by if you are able to premeditate or be conscious of the consequences of your actions. And if someone's killed someone over a period of 10 years, they obviously can't plead insanity.
I think, well, not one person. I think, I mean, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I believe it's to do with so you have like murder, manslaughter and stuff like that. So like, for instance, if you plot to kill somebody,
premeditated
murder, first degree, there's different degrees of murder. And there's a logical explanation. This might be wrong, but like if there's a logical explanation as to why you did it, it's like, well, you're probably not insane because you plotted it, you have motive to do it, and then you did it. So you can't just say, oh no, I'm insane. It's like, well, you kind of plotted it, you got motive, and I don't think you are insane. And then you have like a psychological evaluation. I believe that I think people claiming insanity is actually quite difficult to do.
Well, yes. A quick aside, It didn't. How many? This is episode 34, right? It took 34 episodes for this to become another true crime podcast.
Another?
Because that's like the stereotype podcast discussing crime and serious.
I mean, the fact that it's 34 means that this should be porn, but...
It's just... Oh, I'd love that to be a category. If you want that to be an episode, let us know.
Do you want our YouTube channel to be deleted?
I think after we have a Nazi drinking game and porn, that just shows you how fucking puritanical people still are. It's like, oh, a film can have all the blood and guts in the world. That's a PG-13. There's a nipple.
Titties. What the fuck?
Ah, my soul. But yes, but in terms of, I think that's how they establish it. In terms of, obviously, a lot of people hate the idea of someone getting off with an insanity plea, and a lot of people misinterpret that because it doesn't mean...
Yeah, you don't get off.
You don't go free. You just spend the rest of your life in a mental asylum. Yes, technically, you can be declared sane and released, but that never happens.
Yeah, but it's like...
That never happens.
Also, like, you can't, because it's like, yeah, you might be insane, but you still killed that guy.
So if you were declared sane, you just have to move to a regular prison?
Yeah. It's
like
you still...
Is it like the food's better in an asylum or something? Or?
It definitely isn't. But the thing is, it's like, I'm declaring insanity, so my sentence will be less. It's like, no, it won't. It'll be the same. You'll just be in a mental facility. I mean, like, you still killed a guy. Like, it doesn't matter.
If
like,
the
come
beds
on,
were
bro.
comfier or the food was better, I could understand that, because no one really bothers serial killers in prison. They bother child molesters and all that sort of thing. No one's gonna make you their bitch if you're a murderer. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be.
Depends who you killed. If you killed children, they kill you.
I'd rather be a murderer than a child molester.
That is an interesting sociological perspective that will not be debated in this episode. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'd say that statement is very interesting. The fact that you'd rather take a life than do something so horrifically ungodly evil.
Yeah, also, children are annoying as fuck. I just don't want to be in the same room as them.
Hey, say what you will about say what you will about child molesters, Rob. They drive slowly around school areas.
I mean, that's true.
Mainly because they're driving one-handed.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, you got to be safe. Do you know what I mean?
But yes, in terms of the insanity plea, I can't really. Not to mention. They'd just drug you out, wouldn't they? Say you were a high-functioning person, you murdered someone, plead the insanity plea, get an asylum, then you're not just going to be watching fucking TV in a shabby dressing gown the rest of your life. They'll just fucking dose you up and you'll just be a brain-dead tomato.
I don't know. I've never been in one. But
well, here in the UK, our most notorious mental asylum is called Broadmoor for the criminally insane. I know we have many, many asylums and all that.
They don't dose people up though there anymore. I think they just have. I think it's a mental facility, but before Broadmoor, and you have again, Britain's had like Bedlam as well, where that was literally just like prison for insane people.
I don't think any country has a good history of mental correctional facilities.
They definitely don't. Like Penhurst and like, oh my god, like. Mental health and shit, the shit they used to do.
Oh yeah,
like to be, and this wasn't even serial killers. Like this was just people that had like mental issues.
Oh yeah, if you were like autistic, Down syndrome, just like debilitating issues.
Yeah, because back then it was like it was awful because people would be like ashamed like if they had someone that had mental illness. It was awful.
Yeah, they used to stick child molesters in mental asylums as well, instead of like their own section in prison and all that sort of thing. Same with gay people, who they used to just put in mental asylums.
Oh, yeah, because they used to think that homosexuality was like a mental illness. It's like, back then, it's awful.
Yes, because everyone's fine with them now, aren't they? But let's go back to serial killers, a more cheery topic.
Yeah, a more cheery topic. Rob, serial killers.
I'm just gonna whip it out on the table. Who is your favourite serial killer?
Oh, mate.
Let's put a little bit of context in here. You've watched, this is redundant in saying if you don't know it, if you know it, this is redundant. You've seen a lot of true crime documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
So you know quite a lot of serial killers. You've seen a lot of films.
Not personally.
You've seen documentaries.
Yeah.
Who... no, fuck it. Your favourite.
My favourite. It's going to be my boy. Eddie G.
That's spelled B-O-I.
Yeah. Eddie G. Ed Gein.
Came to explain what he did?
Ed Gein. So, Ed Gein, he was, or he is the inspiration for a lot of horror movie characters. Leatherface, Norman Bates.
Norman Bates?
Norman Bates, yes.
Because those two are very, very different people.
Yeah, but you got to listen to what Ed Gein did. So Ed Gein,
from Psycho, Norman Bates.
Yeah, Psycho,
okay.
Norman Bates. Ed Gein is based on this guy. So Ed Gein, he grew up in those Plainfield, I believe, middle of butt fuck nowhere. He was kind of a handyman, sort of seen as kind of the village oddball kind of guy, but he had, and this is relevant to Norman Bates, a very, shall we say, unhealthy relationship with his mother. She was an extremely religious person. And
which religion?
Christianity.
Okay.
Extremely religious person. And used to quote scripture. Basically, it was not a healthy family environment whatsoever. Anyway, Ed was very attached to his mother, and he also, he was nuts as well. But his mother died. He kept her room, the way it was, after she died in their house. But here's what makes it fucking crazy.
Okay.
Is that Ed started robbing graves of freshly laid graves, and he started exhuming bodies and taking bits of the bodies back with him. And this is where it...
When you say bits, do you mean like arms and legs, like a Frankenstein sort of thing, or
arms, legs, heads?
Heads.
And here's the thing with Ed Gein is that he was making a female skin suit. This is not a joke. This is what he was doing.
Huh.
And he...
How do you preserve a thing like that?
Well, I don't really know how he did it, but
some sort of embalming, I imagine.
Yeah, some sort of thing like that. But he was captured for the murder of a woman called Bernice Warden, who was a woman that used to work in the local shop. He shot her, and then took her back to his house. She went missing, and people were like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, whatever." Went to check on his house, and they found her dressed out like a deer, and the police, and they went to Ed's house. They found this, and then they found a shit ton of stuff. They found like furniture upholstered with human skin, lampshades made out of human skin, skulls that he reversed the jaw around, used as cups.
Oh, but like recycling.
Yeah, exactly. He was a pretty
very eco-friendly
guy. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, that's not too. That does. I know because of like ancient Incas and Mayans used to bind books with humans' flesh as skin as well.
Yeah, and he had a belt made out of human nipples. He was just
nipples.
Nipples. Yeah, nipples. He had like a belt was studded with human nipples.
Ah.
Yeah. But what's crazy about him is the police arrested him. Obviously,
male or female nipples. I just need to know if this is offensive or not.
Well, I believe it was female nipples because he was trying to make a female woman's skin suit, which again comes from
wear.
What?
To wear.
Yeah. Wear. Yeah. Much a bit like Leatherface, how he wears a human face.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And anyway, arrested him. Obviously, the police, and they were like, "Hey, man, like, what the fuck is this?" And he said, "I want a slice of apple pie, and I will tell you absolutely everything I did." And he just did. He just and then, funny enough, he actually managed to plead insanity because the police at the time, this was the 1950s, I believe it was like 53 maybe, but they were like, there is no way that a sane man fucking does
such flawed logic though, because he clearly has every possible facet of mental accountability. It doesn't matter if his reality is warped, he is still capable.
Yeah, but this was the 50s.
Yeah,
this was the 50s. And so they were like, they were like, there is no way that someone could do all this stuff.
Idiots.
And he was also, so it's Bernice Warden he murdered. He also, there was another woman that he murdered. I can't remember what her name was for the right now. But yeah, Ed Gein, because he's based on, lots of horror characters are, he's Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
As well, from Silence of the Lambs, Ed, he's based on Ed Gein as well. I'm just like, man, like if you've got like that many, fictional characters based on a real guy and you are worse than them, fuck me, dude. Like,
was it? Did a coroner or a forensic people manage to accumulate what his exact body count was?
They believe it was 2.
Oh.
Which is actually quite small.
So his main crime was just mainly grave robbing?
Yeah, mainly grave robbing, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Which makes him interesting in the way that he didn't actually kill that many people.
So infamous.
Yeah, but he didn't actually kill that many people. But the things that he did...
Then I wonder why he killed people. Why not just stick to dead bodies?
I think it's because... I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, the man was nuts. I'm not a psychologist. But yeah. All right. Back at you. Who's your favourite?
Oh, John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, that boy.
Once again, because of just how much he has influenced, I would honestly argue that he is a massive contributor to horror clowns.
The killer clown, yeah.
Exactly.
He met John F. Kennedy. That's not a joke. He did.
So did a lot of loose women. I remember particularly there was this very, very thick, large round that got very intimate with John F. Kennedy's brain matter.
Oh yeah. I believe it was. Well, actually, I don't know how thick it was. I believe it was only 7mm. But it was moving fast.
Hey, do not body shame bullets.
It was moving fast. It was moving fast.
Exactly.
All right. It saw what it wanted, and he sprayed all over the place. Let's be honest. He squirted.
What it lacked in width, it made up for in precision.
Yeah. Yes, and it squirted.
Oh,
it made him squirt. Yeah. As we said at the beginning. It's all about the...
Pretty much gave the second guy on the grassy knoll nothing left to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, can you imagine being that dude? Can you imagine being that dude and you're like, right, my time to shine. And then this fucking motherfucker from 200 yards away does it. You're like, it's my birthday and I left for this and now I don't have to do it. Fuck me, come on,
It's
bro.
that one guy in the Call of Duty that gets on the scoreboard purely from doing assists. Never makes the kill himself, but just gets the assists.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be personally attacked like that, but whatever.
Oh, you have camper fucking all over you.
No, I don't. I have kill stealer all over.
You ever called in a tactical?
No, never. I don't kill that many people. I just assist.
John Wayne Gacy, what a fucking demented motherfucker.
Oh, that bro. So, let's explain. Who was John Wayne Gacy and what did he do?
Well, he liked to sell a lot of ice cream. I think that's about it. You like to sell a lot of ice cream,
just a lot of ice cream.
Just a lot of ice cream. The odd countless. I used to know his exact body count as it's.
Apparently, it's like 33, but that's debated. Apparently, though, because like there's loads of stuff that they think he did, but they
I'm about to say the police attributed a lot of shit.
Yeah,
to
they're
him
like,
as well.
He probably did it, but we can't prove it in court, sort of stuff.
Fun fact, John Wayne Gacy was in fact a massive influence for the creation of Pennywise the Clown from Stephen King's famous skit.
I can see that.
Yeah, well, yeah, a clown that kills children.
Yeah. Also, a fun little thing that I like to say, and you'll like this, is that in the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, his makeup is the same as John Wayne Gacy's.
Well, that's because that's a very standard Harlequin-based sort of deal.
Yeah, but it's identical though.
Jesters would have that sort of like.
Yeah, but it's identical. It's the colours and stuff. It's identical.
Well, have you ever watched American Horror Story with a circus? The clown in that had a very similar.
Well, it's definitely based on John Wayne Gacy.
Oh yeah, that was a
circus was the best one, I think. I
really liked Coven.
Did you?
I did like Asylum, but Coven for me was really kind of fun.
Yeah,
I liked the voodoo witches sort of thing.
Yeah, Coven was alright. I think though that Circus.
I didn't like Hotel much.
No, I
Lady Gaga was a bit distracting.
She was all right. I thought she did an all right performance. I mean, like comparing to other pop stars' performance in films, I think Lady Gaga actually did all right.
The only part about Hotel I liked was the ghost of the 1950s murderer guy. The one that ran the hotel sort of thing and would use it to kill people and shit.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably inspired from a serial killer or something.
Yeah, I imagine probably is.
But once again, I can't think of, other than Gacy and like you said again, I can't think of any other like famous serial killers that have influenced so much horror media than those two.
I mean, there are films that are made after serial
even Jack the Ripper never really influenced anything other than himself. Because there's films and that about Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and there's films about the Zodiac Killer as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's one film, I think. Well, one notable film about Zodiac.
Well, there's a Clint Eastwood movie surrounding it.
There's another one. What's it called? Wait, what's the Clint Eastwood one called?
Oh, fucking hell. I can't remember
There's a film that's just... It's called Zodiac. Yeah, very inspired name. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr. In it. And Mark Ruffalo, actually, as well.
Wait, Robert Downey Jr. before or after Iron Man?
Oh, before.
Oh, shit. So when he's on the shit.
Yeah, maybe. But that's about the Zodiac Killer. And, again, the Zodiac Killer, much like Jack the Ripper, a guy that was never actually caught. Which...
He was a sniper or something, wasn't
he? No, he wasn't. Which is... very odd is the fact that he his sort of prerogative was to go up to couples in cars, shoot them a load of times point blank, and he captured a couple as well by a lake. He stabbed them, and his description was that he was wearing this sort of black hood, sort of like an executioner's hood, and then had this kind of necklace. But why he was called the Zodiac Killer is that he used to, much like Jack the Ripper, send coded messages that people could not decipher to like the newspapers and stuff like that, and then he would sign his name Zodiac.
Where was the Enigma code guy when you need him?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the British were like, it's like, hey, look, hey man, look, you cracked the Nazi code, thanks for saving 100,000 lives, but couldn't help but notice when we were all celebrating, you were dancing a little too well.
Well, to be fair, there was a whole team, and pretty much that guy's the only one that gets the credit.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the British government was just like, yeah, that's all great and everything, but you're gay. It's like, come on, man. Like, really? Like that's your issue right now?
Yeah.
Not the Nazis. I mean, also, it's like, Nazis throw gay people in concentration camps. You should love gay people if that's the case. Like, come on.
It's all a Christian thing, isn't it?
It's all a anti-gay.
Well, yeah, the Nazis were Christian. They had their own Nazi Christian church.
Yeah, but, it's not just Christianity, though, is it?
What do you mean? Well,
like Islam.
Oh, yeah, plenty of...
it's not just Christianity.
My point is, a lot of institutions are the ones that influence homophobia when there's actually no rational sort of sociologically. It's all about, again, institutions.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm going to say it right now. Homophobia is the fear that a gay man will treat you the way that you treat women. Yeah, I've said it, homophobes. Fucking at me.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really give a shit. If a homophobe hates you, good.
Yeah, I'm doing it right then.
I can't recall any serial killers that were gay, so...
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy, he was gay.
Really?
Yeah, definitely gay. He went to prison. He went to prison for sodomy, for sodomizing a young man.
Oh, shame.
He actually went to prison for that.
Interesting thing about...
And all his victims were like young boys.
I know they were boys.
Yeah, because that was his thing. He used to lure them in, saying, "Oh, I've got some like sort of handyman work for you. You're looking for money, whatever. I'll come pay you." And then he would, he'd fucking pick him up in his truck and be like, "Hey, man, so like I've got this job, but it ain't the job you want. I'm gonna take you to my house." And I'm going to drug you, then I'm going to do all kinds of unspeakable things to you, and then I'm going to kill you and bury them in my basement.
I can't recall what his end game was. Did he just die in prison, or...?
No, he was executed.
Executed, so he must have been in a
Do you know what his last words were?
Ow.
No, kiss my ass.
I doubt last words ever really matter. I don't think anyone's in the right frame of mind, you know, who's about to die.
Yeah, but it was like, kiss my... And he did interviews. And throughout all of it it was like, oh no, I'm innocent. It's like, mate, we found 33 bodies in your fucking basement, bro. Like, come on.
Stick to your story no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick to your story.
Like, no. Oh, it wasn't me. No. That was my friend, Pogo the Clown. That was what his persona was, Pogo the Clown.
It's like when you were being interrogated in East Berlin during when the communists were in charge there. If you were being interrogated, you had to stick to your story. You'd sit on your thighs and all that, and they'd ask you to repeat the same story over and over again for like 48 hours. You got to stick to your story, because the second you deviate, they've got you.
Yeah. And that's how they get you, isn't it? They wear you down for 48 hours, so then you slip up and you make a mistake, and they're like, aha!
Oh yeah, deprive someone of like someone who's dehydrated and someone that's hungry and all that.
Yeah, hungry, sleep deprived, and then you're like, and then anyone's that, they're just gonna name anyone, aren't they? They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, whatever.
But back to the serial killers who were caught. It's very interesting how it's noted that Jeffrey Dahmer, if I believe, was actually being noted on being exceedingly polite during his trial.
I believe the judge noted that he was like one of the most like polite,
well-mannered, spoken, and all that.
Jeffrey Dahmer, also gay.
Rob, you're sort of drawing a correlation here.
I'm not drawing a correlation. I'm just stating facts that Jeffrey Dahmer was gay.
What? How do we know that he might not have been bi? Well,
he might have been.
Let's not put all the serial killers on the gay side of the fence.
I'm not saying that all gay people are serial killers. I'm just saying that there are 2 serial killers that we've mentioned so far that happen to be gay.
Was Geen?
No. Oh. But John Wayne Gacy was, and so is Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer is
Jack the Ripper wasn't gay. He killed prostitutes.
Well, we don't know.
He killed female prostitutes.
Yeah, he was just a misogynist then.
And isn't that better? What?
I didn't say it was better. Those are your words.
I don't know what's happened now.
Just disclaimer, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between: murder is bad.
Oh, the fact that has to be said, like. Honestly, take off all the warning labels. Let nature sort itself out.
Yeah, exactly. Survival of the fittest.
If you've gotten to this point where you're listening 27 minutes in and you hadn't come to the conclusion in your life yet that murder is bad, you're listening to this in prison because you've already murdered people.
Yeah, or you've not come to the conclusion that we're a bunch of fucking idiots, then, again, seek medical help, please.
Could you imagine if we had a really weird prison populace that listened to us?
I'd love
that. There's a prison in, I don't know.
I think that'd be great.
England or Australia. Well, all of Australia's a prison.
We'd brighten there. Jeffrey Dahmer, he was a fucking nutty guy as well.
I watched an article on the Facebook, and it was talking about all the different weird things that serial killers and people on death row have had at the last meal. And I think Jeffrey Dahmer's was like a strawberry milkshake and like some fries and something like that.
Was that Jeffrey Dahmer? No. That was Bundy.
Oh, Ted Bundy.
Dahmer was murdered by his cellmate.
Oh, right.
I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer was fucking... He injected acid into one of his victims' brains to try and make him like a zombie.
Cool.
He also ate people because...
everyone knows Jeffrey Dahmer ate people.
Yeah. So because there was his neighbour in his sort of his apartment block, if you're American, was like... And I was like, Jeffrey Dahmer's flat smells like kind of weird, a bit like real bad. And then he had like body parts and stuff in his thing. And again, much like with Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, once he was arrested, he was like, yeah, I just did all that shit, mate. He didn't try and defend himself. He was like, nope, that was me. I did it.
It's kind of weird how human flesh apparently stands out when it's meant to be completely synonymous to pork.
Do you know what it's called? Long pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, long pig.
Well, it's white meat, isn't it? And that's why we can have like pig organs in us, because our flesh and anatomy is so similar.
Yeah. Would you eat a bit of person? Like if someone voluntarily gave you a bit of person, would you eat it?
Honestly,
like if someone's like, hey, like have a little bit.
Is it seasoned?
Well, yeah, no, cook it with like.
It's properly cooked and seasoned.
Yeah. But like if someone said, hey, look, I'll just give you a bit of like my little bit of my bicep just to eat like and cook like would you eat it?
I wouldn't say no, but to be honest, I wouldn't be incredibly motivated to say yes, because I don't really eat that much pork.
No. But like if they were like consenting and like, hey, like I've got like I'm willing to give you a bit of flesh.
Yeah.
To eat, would you eat it? I think I would.
Yeah, I would. But that's the thing. I'd eat it and I'd be
is that weird?
No, because here's.
Are we going to be on a watch list now?
A cannibal watch list.
Oh wait, no. Oh, are we going to be on watch list twice?
Thing is, I see myself. I'd eat it, and I'd expect myself to, like they've done in films, to lose my mind over now being a cannibal. I was like, okay. I'd just be like, it's so unspectacular. You're gonna take a bite and it's gonna be like you've eaten a bit of roast pork. You're gonna feel no different afterwards.
I'd probably be like, I'd eat it and be like, bacon's better.
I mean, if I'd had a plane crash and I had to roast a dead person, I wouldn't be traumatized because
we got to survive.
Because of the taste of the meat itself. It's because of the context of how I've eaten it. And like you said, if you've willingly given me a bit of your arm, that's taken away all of the taboo and stigma, and it's just a bit of white meat.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as it's consensual.
Did Jeffrey Dahmer eat faces or shit like that?
Oh yeah, no, he probably did. I believe that he.
That's in my head for some reason. Faces.
No, he definitely. I can't. Oh, it did specify. I mean, let's go on to another dude. Fucking hell.
Well, you mentioned Ted Bundy a second ago.
I mentioned Teddy B. Again, much known for being, and this is weird as well. He's got like a fan base. This is not a joke. Ted Bundy has a fan base.
Are we talking like Team J. Could, Team Edwards sort of fan base?
No shit. Like no, that would be funny if it wasn't true. He's got a fan base of people that think that Ted Bundy is like hot and attractive. Have you heard of Columbiners? People that think that. Yeah, no, bro. Like, that's not even a fucking joke. Like, Columbiners. People that think that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. Sorry, you share the name.
What, that they had a point?
No. They've got people on, and yes, this will not surprise you, on Tumblr, that fucking, like, have fan fiction about Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris.
Well, that's not necessarily that depraved. I mean, if it's just creative writing.
Yeah, but no, it's like fan art.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's a bit different.
Of like, yeah, like it's. I mean, to be fair, it's like it's kind of funny to read, I guess, because like I've got a fucked up sense of humor. But there's like gay fanfic between those two guys, like, but they're like school, and you're like the internet. Like, was it a mistake? Or I literally
I don't know.
Was not let us speak.
You and I have ventured onto adult relations websites in our time, haven't we?
Oh yeah, because we're a bunch of lonely fuckers.
And sadly, I've come across what I can obviously didn't jerk it to after a bit of click forwards. I see. Wait, what exactly is going on here? Okay, I'm moving on. I came across what can only be described as snuff videos.
Snuff film?
Pretty much
like
video...
actual ones? Or...
No, not actual ones, but they would fake it to look as authentic as possible. And I just went, and once I realised what this video was about, I was like, I went straight to the comments and all that sort of thing. And you realise, these macabre, depraved, taboo-loving motherfuckers exist.
Oh, what was that fucking guy's name?
I need a bit more than that.
God damn it. There was this dude who, like, murdered someone and
again, I need a bit more
and the tools that he used, he bought off Amazon and then left like, reviews. Like, on the shit he used. He was like, it was like he bought, like, a fucking...
Hacksaw doesn't cut through bone that well.
Mate, do you fucking know? That's literally what he said. He bought a hacksaw and was like, doesn't cut through bone that well.
Wait, seriously? I just guessed that as a joke.
Yeah, no, he fucking literally, he bought shit and then left reviews saying,
people
like,
would probably just think he's talking about, like, animal bones or something, like a butcher or something.
Yeah, maybe.
And he ended up getting caught.
Yeah, no, he ended up getting
caught.
No,
you're the only one that knows about it.
But fucking, this dude, going back to cannibals, Albert Fish. You know this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's almost worse than Dahmer, I think.
I want to see a cannibal that's also a gourmet chef.
Yeah.
You don't get that often.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if we found out in, like, 20 years Gordon Ramsay was a cannibal, but he was, like, expertly preparing people, like, marinating.
Thing is, if Gordon Ramsay was a cannibal, you'd be like, oh, you know what? I can kind of see it.
Yeah. All the people that failed his cooking shows were never seen again.
Yeah.
That's why they were so scared to be sent off the set.
Can you imagine? Oh, you know the fucking thing. It's like, an idiot sandwich. A sandwich, yes.
Like that Treehouse of Horror, The Simpsons, when like they start eating the children.
Oh my god, I fucking love that episode. That's so good.
Someone drops a spatula and Gordon Ramsay says like, to the freezer. Homework, eat a stick of butter.
Yeah. What talk about? Fucking Albert Fish, right?
Yeah,
so this motherfucker, he was fucking weird. So he was like he was like, when he was a kid, he was in like this sort of orphanage that used to like beat them and stuff like that. And then as a young kid, he was like, oh, it actually sort of aroused him sexually. And you're like,
oh, okay. Was a masochist.
Yeah, no, he absolutely was. And he, you know, with his, I think he had like nephews and nieces or whatever, but he used to get like them and their friends to do like masochistic things to him. Like he had like this ping pong paddle that he pushed nails through and got them to like smack his ass with it. It's fucked up. And then he also put nails like in himself, and they x-rayed him and they found like nails like in his like pelvis and shit. Real fucked up shit. Anyway, the reason why he was
and that was all for like sexual gratification.
Yeah. And real fucked up shit. Anyway, the reason why he got caught is because there was a young girl called Grace Budd, and basically there was a young boy, not a young boy, but a sort of adolescent boy that Albert Fish wanted to kind of do what John Wayne Gacy did. Like he was gonna, essentially, abduct this, lure him in with the promise of work, abduct him, murder him, eat him, because he used to eat people. But then he suddenly, when he turned up to the house, he got besotted with the boy's younger sister called Grace Budd, who he then proceeded to say, "Oh well, my niece is having a birthday party. I would like to take, Grace to the party or whatever." And the mother, for whatever reason, said, "Yeah, sure, go and do that."
Right.
And then he took her to, his house, took Grace to his house, murdered her. And then what was really fucked up about it is that he wrote and Grace basically just went missing. People just thought she went missing.
Right.
As did Albert Fish. Went missing. But anyway, he wrote a letter to the Budd family talking about his abduction and murder. And no fucking shit, this is an actual note that he wrote in the letter, which was, "My, how good her little ass looked at roasting in the oven."
God damn.
And I was just like, God. Yeah, that was my response. God damn. Like, fuck, man. Like Jesus. Well, no, Jesus has left the chat.
You can understand why he'd go for the hind quarters, because that would be a solid morsel of meat sort of thing.
Yeah, he could, but it's like, the fact that you write a letter to the family like that, you're like, bro.
That'd be like if I bought a pork joint from Tesco's and I wrote a letter to the farmer about it. Like,
well, maybe not quite that, but
okay, not quite. I'm trying
if you wrote it to the pig's parents, and the pigs could read.
Well, I'd love to see that, a farmer that teaches his pigs to read only to still kill them.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, teach your pig how to read. How fun is that?" And then you have dickheads like us that will just write letters for like, "Oh, real good between some butter and bread."
And then there's cows in the next station over reading the letters about veal.
Oh yeah, no, venison's deer, isn't it?
Yeah. Veal is baby cow.
Yeah, baby cow.
Soft, tender baby cow.
Oh my god.
Rob's getting hungry thinking about it.
I am actually.
But let's not just paint all serial killers with the cannibal brush. I think that's unfairly stereotyping.
Yeah, not all serial killers are cannibals.
# not all serial killers.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Not all of them eat people, you fucking bigots.
# serial killer lives matter. Ironically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, let's talk about maybe like a recent sort. I say recent. This was like in the 90s when he was caught, the Yorkshire Ripper.
Peter Sutcliffe.
Yeah, here in the UK, we had a very infamous another Ripper walking about, known as the Yorkshire Ripper. I believe they sent him to it was like the Parkers, the toughest prison in England. I think it's where they held Bronson.
I think he went to Broadmoor actually.
Broadmoor. I thought they put him in that prison in Hull. That's like the worst one in England.
Well, maybe that's where he was, but he's been over prisons, the Yorkshire Ripper. There's a fun fact actually. My mum was. I was talking to my mum the other day. As you do, about sort of serious. And my mum, she actually had a friend whose name was Peter Sutcliffe. And so, seeing Peter Sutcliffe murders, and basically this guy was just like, bad.
I wonder what his Facebook was like.
Well, I mean, this was back in, whenever Peter Sutcliffe, so Facebook wasn't around. But it was like, Peter Sutcliffe, like, seeing that name, you're just like, oh, fuck. Come on, man. Like...
It is annoying when a serial killer ruins your name.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like if your name was John Venables or something like that. You'd be like, oh, fuck off.
I mean, I get away with it because my last name is so different from the Columbine kid.
Yeah, no, the first name's fine, but but if it's like the first and second name, then you're fucked. So like, come on, bro.
Oh, imagine if all it took was the first name, John Wayne Gacy, and everyone named John going forward.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's like all those fucking idiots that name their kids Daenerys. You're like, oh, bro, that's not good.
I said that right when they first started doing it. The first couple seasons is like, wait until the end. Wait until the end. I think it's happened because of The Witcher. A few people naming their kids Geralt or something like that.
Geralt, yeah. But it's like, you name your kid Daenerys, it's like, okay. It's like, that's not going to be... It's like, well done, mate.
I guess the ones that have named them Arya and all that aren't too bad.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a stupid name.
Bad. It's not as bad as Daenerys, but it's like I know where you got it from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone named the kid Arya, I was like, yeah, I know where you got that name from. Bro.
The thing is, in 20 years, will people still know where it's from?
Yeah, no, they will. Game of Thrones, definitely. Game of Thrones, I feel is like, is in the future, 20 years time, it will still be like like Star Wars. Like people will all know about it. People will still watch it. They definitely will.
Well, given when the Lord of the Rings movie books first came out, like fucking decades and decades and decades ago, and then became popularly cultural because of the movies and all that sort of thing. Do you think maybe Game of Thrones is the next Lord of the Rings, and maybe the next generation it will be for that, like Lord of the Rings was for us?
I think Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones is very much the same for us. Also, let's be honest, ending in Lord of the Rings, it's like compared to the ending of Game of Thrones, like people like Lord of the Rings, 17 Oscars don't lie.
What's better, 14 endings or one crap ending?
14 good endings. 14 good endings.
I didn't need to see Sam get fucking married.
Yeah, you also didn't have to see season 8, but here we are.
We're getting off topic. Back to serial killers.
Yeah, back to serial killers.
Actually, that brings me on to a next thing. What is your favourite fictional serial killer?
Ooh.
Films, books, whatever you want. Your favourite fictional serial killer. And you can say like Freddy Krueger if you want.
Okay.
This
is kind of weird, and this will appeal to the either the traitors or the servants of the Emperor, but Conrad Kurz.
I thought you were about to say Darth Vader.
No. The right Emperor, actually. Conrad Kurz, the Night Haunter.
Care to elaborate a bit?
For those of you who know the Horus Heresy or Warhammer 40k lore, Conrad Kurz.
Warhammer.
He was a Primarch, and he was known as the Night Haunter. So, let me explain what Conrad Kurz was. Imagine Batman, but Batman kills and flays and tortures people.
So, Batman, but Ramsay Bolton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what Conrad Kurz was. So, he used to attack, stop criminals and stuff like that, but he wouldn't just sort of beat them up and be like, I don't kill because otherwise blah, blah, blah. He was like, no, I definitely do kill. Also, I'm going to kill you over the period of like 2 weeks. Real slow, like. and he's kind of like Batman. Like he used to sneak about in the shadows. That's where he got the name the Night Haunter, which is an awesome name, by the way. And yeah, he killed like hundreds of thousands of people, and a bit like the Boltons, kind of hanged like flayed bodies like around him and shit like that he tortured and murdered. And I was like, man, scary fuck. Surprise, surprise, turned out being a bad guy. Yeah, but I was like, man, like that's so.
The reason you like him is in his mythology, or
the reason why I like him is partly because it got me into the fact that, like, Warhammer, it's toy soldiers on a model board, but then the story and stuff, I was like, man, this is actually real dark, like, stuff. And, like the story behind them, like, the models look quite goofy, but the stories behind them are really dark, and I was like, oh, that got me invested in the stories and stuff. And then it was, like, the fact that...
Surprised there's never been a Warhammer movie.
I wish there was. I wish there...
What actor would you have play your guy?
Oh, Conrad Kurz. Oh, fuck. This is tricky. To play Conrad Kurz, I think I'd probably have someone like what's the I'm trying to think. I might have like maybe.
Is he quite an older gentleman, or?
Well, he's Primarch. I mean, he's 10,000 years old.
How does he look, Rob?
He looks a bit... do you know that video game Hatred? Actually, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like that.
So Jason Momoa, then?
Yeah, maybe... No, Jason Momoa is too nice. Maybe...
he's an actor. He can be mean.
Maybe something like...
Ozzy's too old now, so...
Yeah. Maybe something like that, but he's a real...
I love the game Hatred. And
it's so ridiculous.
It kind of fits in with serial killers and all that, because he's a spree killer. It's just like, his opening is so precious. My name is not important.
Yeah.
What is important is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's one of those...
I fucking hate everyone.
It's so fucking dumb, but you're just like... But it's so like... It's like one of those games.
Edgelord at its ultimate climax.
It's so gratuitous that it's just funny.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't take it serious. I remember you showing it to me. I was like, mate, the fact that people made this is fucking hilarious.
And the game absolutely exploded. It was like at the top of the Steam list. And you know why? Not because it was a good game. It was basically
YouTube streamers, well.
Not just YouTube streamers. There was because of the controversy. Like the game like Postal or GTA. Everyone was like,
what's that? Bully?
Do you remember Bully? The Rockstar game. I loved that game.
I did as well, actually.
It was a great game. It was so much fun. You beat the shit out of people.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your favourite fictional
serial killer? I'm trying to avoid anime here and stick to...
Oh, no, do anime and tell us why you like it.
Oh, no, 100 fucking animes just flew through my head at a fucking brisk pace there.
Only 100? That's okay. That's like 100 more than I had. I'm actually trying to think of an anime serial killer that I know.
Oh, there are so many. There's one in Full Metal Alchemist. I think Attack on Titan technically had one.
My anime knowledge extends to Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Castle of Cagliostro.
Wait, so no anime series?
Oh no, I've watched like 5 episodes of Attack on Titan.
Did you like it?
I did actually.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't gone further, but I did like it.
We should do an anime episode.
Yeah, we should. You'll be talking for most of it.
Oh no, we will spend 40 minutes splooging on Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anyway, my favourite fictional serial killer, I kind of want to go with a classic and pick a good Hannibal Lecter, because I feel like he is an absolute staple. Like, you think, name a movie serial killer, everyone instantly goes to Hannibal Lecter, don't they?
Yeah,
because
Anthony Hopkins.
I was about to say, no small part in due to Sir Anthony Hopkins because of his incredible stellar performance of someone that is, and again, I think very much like Jeffrey Dahmer, he maintains a very polite composure.
I have a little fun fact.
Yes.
You are aware of the phrase, "I ate his liver with fava beans and a nice Chianti." Do you know that's actually not the line in the book?
I haven't read the book.
In the book, it's "I ate his liver with nice Riesling." Now, Anthony Hopkins, being a very classy fellow, Riesling, you do not drink Riesling with liver. You drink Chianti with red meat. And so he changed the line. So the actual original line is with Riesling, the Riesling wine. Or from where that is. But he changed it because he was like, Riesling, no, you don't drink Riesling with liver. Drink Chianti with liver. And he changed it. It's a little fun fact.
Well, you've become recently a wine drinker yourself. Would you eat red meat without red wine or whatever?
I'd eat something with wine, but I don't fucking know.
I so struggle seeing you sit down to dinner with a glass of wine. Like a Sunday roast with my mum, she'd have a glass of wine, I'd have some lemonade or whatever.
You gotta do it, mate. You gotta try it.
I'm still struggling to get into wine.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's wine, and much booze, is that if you're brave enough, eventually you'll drink enough of it to not care about the taste.
No,
but that's just a little fun fact about Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. I guess, again, in that film itself, like you mentioned earlier, Buffalo Bill, I don't want to go with a supernatural serial killer, like an uncomfortable human fictional serial killer. Again,
they're not supernatural, though.
Like Freddy Krueger.
Oh, right, no, sorry.
I'm trying to avoid going for that sort of things. I'm trying to think, again, the grounded, the uncomfortable sort of, Hannibal Lecter, again, Buffalo Bill, fucking...
people that are like real people.
I guess so, yeah. I'm trying to think of another one from fiction.
I guess you could say, and I know we might be going down a rabbit hole here, but the Joker, I guess, is... he's kind of a big serial killer. He's killed a lot of people.
I guess Jack Nicholson's character from The Departed was a serial killer. He was like a mass murderer over a long course of time.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what a serial killer is. You kill lots of people over a certain amount of time.
The Joker.
The Joker is a serial killer. He's killed loads of people over loads of years.
I think it's recorded. His body count's at more than 1,000.
Yeah, it's something insane.
I can't think of a single soldier that even has that kind of record.
No, I think the Simo Hayek. I think he had 500 kills.
That being said, the people that flew the Enola Gay.
Oh, but that was all at once. Not over the period of
So they count as spree killers, do they?
Why the fuck are we laughing about this? It's okay.
No one's listening.
So your favorite fictional one is Jack Nicholson in The Departed.
No, fuck you.
The night's still young.
Have you seen From Hell?
Oh yeah, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, the film with Jack the Ripper. I was
Yeah.
I would see. Oh, imagine a young Jack Nicholson as Jack the Ripper. Imagine you remember Jack Nicholson from The Shining, him as Jack the Ripper. That would have been good.
I think the mystery of Jack the Ripper is the fact that we don't know what he's like.
Every few years, apparently on Earth, they figured it out. It was like some Polish guy or something.
Yeah, that's what they thought. There's also that Michael Caine made for TV film, which was it was a 2-parter where they actually discover, and it's it's one of the royal princes that has.
I heard about that theory. He married a prostitute, and they killed all of the witnesses.
I think that's the From Hell theory. There's one with Michael Caine where he's Aberline.
Mm-hmm.
And Aberline was a real guy. Detective Aberline was Inspector Aberline was a real guy who Johnny Depp plays in From Hell. Michael Caine plays Aberline in a 1970, 74 maybe? No, 78 maybe. I don't know. But Michael Caine plays the same thing. They actually discover who Jack the Ripper is, but then they cover it up because it's a member of the royal family, which is obviously, a theory that people have.
There's a really fun take on Jack the Ripper in an anime that my partner really enjoys called Black Butler. And basically, Jack the Ripper turned out to be a woman, and it was a doctor that was barren. And the reason she was killing prostitutes is because eventually she got sick of prostitutes coming to her asking for abortions. And she eventually lost it and began killing them because they were squandering the fact they could have babies and she couldn't. It was a really interesting take on Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I think, about Jack the Ripper is that the fact that, there's a whole thing about how the way the bodies are mutilated, which was, obviously horrific, is that it appeared to be that, the person that did it had some sort of knowledge, which is why that leather...
definitely had medical training of some sort.
Yeah, which is why, there was, leather apron... which is obviously, back then there was anti-Semitism, and leather apron was, this Jewish, butcher.
Yeah.
And they thought, Jews, they're kind of dodgy, and this guy, he knows how to cut up bodies.
Listen to the context here. Rob is being facetious.
Yeah. I'm just saying what they said back in the 1880s. They're kind of dodgy, and this guy, where he's from, he probably did it. And there was the infamous graffiti, which was the Jews will not be blamed for nothing, spelt Juws.
Christ.
But what was really bad about it is that the police, they were like, all these murders are really horrific. So what we're going to do?
That was their observation.
They're like, these like worse than what we've seen. What general murder is.
Whitechapel.
So we're gonna, exactly. So we're just gonna wash away all the evidence so people don't see the terrible stuff. It's like, really?
Do you think? I think they've often teased us if Sherlock Holmes, the fictional character, had gone after Jack the Ripper if he would have solved it, because Sherlock Holmes was. I would honestly love a Robert Downey Jr. movie, a third Sherlock Holmes, and they go after Jack the Ripper. How awesome! I'm amazed there isn't more Jack the Ripper pop culture.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit. You used to watch The Wolfman, haven't you, with Benicio del Toro? Yeah, there's a reference because Hugo Weaving, Elrond plays Aberline, and there's actually a reference to it. So, you're the man that failed to capture Jack the Ripper. I thought that was a bit of fun. But actually, people believe also that Jack the Ripper, because he sent letters to the police, and I think that people believe that Jack the Ripper actually was like a hoax name that someone had sent, but it caught on.
Everything's fake fucking news, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people that were supposedly executed right before their death claimed to have been him. Excuse me.
Yeah, but that's like because they got loads of letters. Fake letters and real, and they did get.
I love how trolls existed even back then.
Yeah, even back then. But the fact that people believe that Jack the Ripper actually might have just been like a troll name that someone sent in, but the papers obviously laps it up because Jack the Ripper. You got to give the guy a name, don't you?
No,
but actually, yeah,
Jack the Hack.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Jack the Hack would have been better. Like when J. Jonah Jameson comes up with Doc Ock. Come on, I need a name for this serial killer. Yeah. He's been gashing over women's bodies and all that. What about Jack? Jack is good. Jack is snappy. I like that.
Yeah. What was it? Jack the Ripper. It's pretty good. But it's taken. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need a parallel universe where Jack the Ripper's happening, but J. Jonah Jameson is the head of the newspapers in the world. Yeah. Bring me more pictures of Jack the Ripper.
It's like, this is 1888, and no, it ain't gonna happen.
I'd love to see Spider-Man in 1880, superheroes in historic time periods, shit like that.
Yeah,
like that'd be awesome. Imagine Batman trying to get Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, can you imagine seeing Thor in like ancient Norse? Oh wait.
Imagine throwing Thor in like the Prince of Egypt movie. It's like Moses strolls in with his staff and it turns into a snake and Thor's in the corner laughing saying, "Watch this."
Yeah. I just imagine Chris Hemsworth though doing it. It's like let my people go. I think Chris Hemsworth's just like,
I just want to see a three-way between the Egyptian gods, the Christian god, and the Norse gods.
You wanna
for supremacy over Egypt.
Oh. Okay. No, that makes more sense.
I don't think there were any like humanized Egyptian gods. They were all like dogs and hippos and crocodiles.
Yeah,
and
they had
shit.
like
birds and
dog's
shit.
head, like people body, crocodile tail. I mean, give them credit for innovation.
Were there hippos in Egypt? I find that weird.
Yeah, I think there were in the Nile. Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, there might have been, but
Jack.
Ja.
Oh, I'd love to see if... Imagine, they'd never release it because of assholes that stifle creativity. Wouldn't you love to play a video game where you could be Jack the Ripper and you'd have to kill someone, but you'd have a certain time period, so you had to figure out what to do with the body and how to get away in time, and if you're caught, that's the end of the game. And the game is see how long you can go without getting caught.
Isn't Jack the Ripper sort of infamous for not getting rid of his bodies, though? Like, he leaves them.
Well, maybe you do that, but that's the thing. You kill someone and the clock starts ticking. There's like police patrolmen, so you can either mutilate the body, write your little note, or... I'm just brainstorming off the top of my head here, but like a serial killer themed video game.
Yeah, and you could like fucking upgrade as well.
Yeah, exactly. And all that.
You could have
get different tools. You could maybe unlock a warehouse. That's
and you could get like certain XP for like bits of the body that you cut out.
So like XP for the amount of media coverage.
Yeah, and also like certain amounts. So like say you cut out the kidney, that's worth a certain amount of XP. You cut out like the lung, but that takes longer. You get more XP for it, but you're more likely to get caught.
And if you get away with no one seeing you.
Yeah. Like a stealth check. Yeah.
There was a similar thing in Assassin's Creed, because you remember...
Syndicate. I didn't play that.
There was a Jack the Ripper DLC, and it was terrible.
Yeah, because
People hated it.
Because I played Unity, which was the one before.
Oh, the French one.
Yeah, it was the one before, and then and Unity was not good. I'm just going to say it right now. But I remember my mate said that like Syndicate, which was the London one, was actually basically the same sort of thing. And so I was like, I don't really want to spend 50 quid, 40 quid on this, so I didn't actually play it. Unity was the last Assassin's Creed game I actually ever played.
Video games got so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there was Syndicate, then there was Origins in Ancient Egypt, although it wasn't Ancient Egypt, because Caesar was there and shit like that.
No, Caesar went to Egypt.
To ban Cleopatra. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't Ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt predates fucking thousands
Here's
of years.
a fun fact. The pyramids were already ancient by the time Cleopatra was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was Greece. They did Greece. Sadly, not the musical.
Odyssey?
Yeah, Odyssey. They did Greece.
And then they've done Valhalla.
Oh, and that's the one that just came out, yeah.
Have you played that?
No.
No.
Do I look like I have £80 for a fucking little...
Yeah, I'm going to wait for it to drop in price, I think. I'd kind of like to... I don't know. I think Black Flag is the quality of...
that's the problem, because everyone loved the shit battles in Black Flag so much. Actually, could you argue in a way that the Assassin Orders are serial killers? Yeah. Like, they like to go on the whole thing as though, nothing is true, everything's permitted, we only kill evil Templars, but, at least...
It's like, yes, but how many of them do you kill in a day?
And not to mention, let's break this down. The Templars, they set up banks, they have organisations, they probably have social programs, they have to balance out this and that for the society. And then an assassin comes along, just kills people and sees what happens.
Yeah. That's a good point. Are we the baddies? Like,
that's why I enjoyed, because there was a Assassin's Creed game where you were a assassin that became a Templar.
Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Rogue, that was it. Yeah. Shay, he's an Irishman.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think I am technically a spree killer because I upgraded all my shit, so I have like 4 pistols. So I can kill 4 people all at once, so I'm a spree killer.
You'll enjoy this, because I've heard people talk about it. In the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's a bit where you are a Viking that's pillaging an English monastery, but you actually desynchronize if you kill innocent monks. It's like, don't do, because obviously desynchronizing kill innocents, but wait, hang on a sec, it's still...
Oh, I guess history can just go fuck itself.
Oh no, the Vikings only going to kill armed people. They'd never kill an innocent monk while fucking sieging this place.
Yeah, they'd never... Yeah, because they definitely didn't row all that way to kill people that couldn't fight. Like, come on, oh no, I don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah, it would... I guess because they were trying to not make it look like the main character was an absolute bastard. Yeah, they were pillaging a monastery.
Actually, I think that's actually... I believe that's something... I think that's something to do with video games, why they're like 18 rated, is that like you have like if you kill stuff that can't fight back, apparently that's something to do with the rating.
Right. So wait, is the context of murder rather than murder itself?
Yeah, it's more like the fact that you... So it's like...
That's a lot of fannying.
So it's like... Yeah, no, it is. It's like... So like... It's fine if the enemy's shooting back, but it's like if you're just shooting people that... I mean, this came obviously from the sort of 90s, early 2000s with the whole...
They do that in a lot of X-Men movies, wouldn't they? Like when Logan would let a person go, and then at the last moment they'd try and attack back so that killing him was justified.
Yeah. Yeah, other than just like killing him straight off. Yeah. Anyway...
But you really think someone buys Assassin's Creed Valhalla where you're a Viking assassin, that the person's buying that thinking, oh, I'll pick it up off the shelf. I hope I don't kill any innocents.
Yeah, that's like saying I want to buy Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Oh, I hope I don't have to, sort of raid and kill people on ships. No, yeah. That'd be really bad, wouldn't it?
Someone playing that and they get to the point where did I just steal something? They put the game down right there. Holy shit!
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is like if Assassin's Creed and the sort of style in those games are, it's like look. If it's going to be about Vikings, you want to raid and pillage. That's what you want to do. Like, just let them do it.
Oh, but the game is nothing like that. The game itself is apparently mainly just conversing with, like, English kings, setting up alliances and occasionally scrapping.
Oh, yeah, because the Vikings are so known for...
They did have a society and shit. But...
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, oh, yeah, Vikings... Like, is that what people think when they think about playing a Viking game? No, they don't think about setting up alliances. They think about fucking raiding, pillaging, stealing gold.
Well, there was that game that came out not too long ago. I think it was called For Honor, where you had, like, you could be Vikings, medieval, like, Crusader knights, or Japanese samurai. And it was like a three-way thing against them.
Now, this actually, I think, leads me on to a question, because we are talking about serial killers.
Oh, okay.
So back then, I say back then, Viking times. By today's standards, there were probably boatloads of serial killers coming over, killing all the time. Because believe it or not, and despite what the hippies like to say, we are actually living in the most peaceful time that human history has ever seen.
Yeah, probably.
There is this sentiment that's, oh, well, back then it was so much more peaceful and stuff. It's like, no, it wasn't.
Less shit was just recorded.
Yeah, it's like, no, wrong. Like, that's just not how it was. That's not...
Well, same with the environment as well.
Yeah, but it's like, people that think that, oh, yeah, I wish we could go back to olden times when it was better. It's like, it wasn't, though. Like, it just wasn't.
I can't think of a single moment in history. Maybe that's because I've studied history.
Yeah, I think it might have been. But like this idea that, oh yeah, like people used to live in harmony back then. It's like, no, they fucking didn't, mate.
What, during the 100 Years' War?
Yeah, it's like, no, they fucking didn't, mate. It's
harmony?
Like, yeah, it's like, no, are you dumb?
Even the Native Americans of America would fucking be at war with each other.
I think that's the worst thing is that people say, oh yeah, like, Native Americans, they just lived in peace and harmony. It's like, no, they didn't.
That was a big thing of why they were so thoroughly attacked, because they were at war with each other while Americans were fighting them.
Exactly. It's like, no, that's just like, we are actually currently living in the most peaceful time in the history of humanity. So, you can imagine that there are actually probably so many serial killers that would have existed back then, but it's just like sort of in the modern time that we give them, have the names like Ted Bundy and, Jeffrey Dahmer and all these like names because there's so few of them.
I think that begs the question whether or not a serial killer is a product of nature or nurture.
It depends.
Would you say a serial killer is naturally a killer, or are they a product of their environment?
I think that goes into the question of psychopathy or sociopathy. Because, psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made. Not every psychopath either is a serial killer.
Oh no, but people that just are able to blend in and just exist.
Yeah, exactly, and that's sort of what makes them kind of so scary, is that you don't actually know if someone is a serial killer, because that's one of the sort of recurring themes, like with Ed Gein, Dahmer, Bundy. People are just like, oh, they were just like the most normal dudes. Like
was it Bundy or was it Dahmer that was able to pass a polygraph completely fine?
I believe,
because he was just such a chill person and all that. Like the needle didn't even scatter anything, because again,
that might have been Bundy, but. I think it might have been Bundy, but...
one of them managed to pass the polygraph.
It was one
without
of the two.
Even anything.
Yeah, it was one of the two, but it's like... Bundy actually really was not a very smart guy. He represented himself in court. You know the old phrase that anyone who represents himself in court is a lawyer's fool or something like that.
Well, you yourself, who's very close with aspiring lawyers, I imagine, could tell you why that's not a good idea.
Yeah, like if you represent, it's you know, in The Simpsons, Homer Simpson does it. He says, "I would like to represent myself, drunken hicks of the jury," and then he's sentenced to you know, whatever.
Well, do you watch that guy on the YouTube, Legal Eagle?
Yeah.
I remember we once talked about the South Park episode where Jesse Jackson was defending the Chewbacca defense.
It doesn't.
This is Chewbacca. Now, why is a man who's defending another man from going to jail talking about an 8-foot-tall Wookiee? That does not make sense.
Again, I actually asked my brother about this.
The Chewbacca defense.
Yeah, and he was like, actually, you can't use that because a judge would just say this is not relevant to the case.
Oh, so, yeah, you can object on relevancy. In that.
Yeah, well, the judge would say this is not relevant to the case. Or even, you know, the defendant or prosecution would say this is not relevant to the case.
There are so many, apparently, like, fiddly little things. Like, you can just object on someone being, if they're being argumentative. Like, you have to be so concise on any point you're making.
You can, but, again, you have to be, like, kind of sure. Because, like, you could object to something and say, oh, I believe this is not relevant to the case. But it's like, well, it might be. If the judge says, or if it's decided that actually it is relevant to the case, because obviously, well, not obviously, but, you know, people potentially could just object to stuff that doesn't suit their case. And so if you just object all the time, and then it's like, well, actually it is relevant to the case. So, like, for instance, you know, we talked about this, like Amber Heard said, oh, well, this person's testimony isn't relevant to the case. But then the judge was like, yes, it is. Because it's directly about you.
Problem is, if a judge, apparently, after the matter of fact, a judge can say, yes, that's relevant, yes, that's not. But if the judge apparently makes too many bad calls, then then his judgment can be gone under appeal and reversed.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can, which is why judges are very careful about it. But, yeah, anyway.
Or especially if it's declared there was found out some sort of biasm or anything like that. Like, a judge is meant to be absolutely neutral and shit like that. Same with juries, like a tainted jury and all that sort of thing. Like, hence why they're apparently not allowed to discuss the case outside, read newspapers. Like, they've got to be absolute blank slates.
Yeah, which must be so hard now, especially with social media.
I bet that's the worst thing in the fucking world for courts. Social media. And that's another thing. Imagine you're this judge that's like 60 years old and you've been being a judge for maybe the last 40 years, 20 years. It takes a while to become a judge. You've got someone in the witness stand talking about, I went into his Facebook DMs and you fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if you heard someone do that, first of all, you'd get rid of them. And second of all, if they said that they hadn't seen it, they could, like, actually be tried for perjury.
Well, that's if they're knowingly lying.
No, not perjury, but, like, they could be in breach of what they said.
No.
So, like, if they said, I'm not going to see it, but then you heard them saying, like, oh, yeah, I was looking at this thing, you'd be like, oh, someone's got charges heading them way. Boy.
Don't fuck around in court.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't been taken to a jury yet in my life.
Have you not had jury service?
No, and I voted, and that's apparently how you get qualified for it. If you vote, you can
funnily enough, my brother actually was called for jury service, but apparently the guy actually just confessed before he actually got to get in, so...
Oh, that's a shame. Apparently you get, like, a free lunch or something.
Yeah.
That's what I go for. I'm poor.
You think it'd be like, probably, it's like, oh no, but you know what, guys, I think we should let this go on just like a couple of days more. Do you know what I mean? Just like, you know, like not for the free lunch or anything, but
Well, that's what I find so fucking weird about the I don't know if they do it in this country, but the American system, like a hung jury, like if it's like 10 jurors and 9 people say guilty, but if one motherfucker says not guilty, that's not a verdict yet. They have to somehow... And I remember Legal talking about how there's been wackos of a juror, like, I can't vote not guilty, my spirit animal won't let me. And they have to fucking work with these kind of nutters.
There's also, at least in America, I believe, I don't know if it's in the UK, it might be in the UK as well, but if a jury just decides that someone's not guilty, they're just not guilty.
Yeah.
So, like...
That's law. That's how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how a jury, like, works. Like, you try by jury appears. So, like, even if, like, the guy killed someone and the jury just went, nah, not guilty. Not guilty.
It's not a perfect system, but you can argue, do you have a better one?
Well, I suppose if you wanted to really sort of get into it, you'd be like, well, look at the facts. Like, a judge could say, okay, so factually, this guy did this. And these are the facts of what he did. He did this crime. He should be prosecuted.
I think in this country, like, if the evidence was really indisputable, maybe it's just because it's, like, apparently our country is, like, the most CCTV'd country in the world and all that, there would be so much evidence that I don't think... Like, the margin of a jury that does what you just said must be very low.
Oh, yeah, no, it is. But it's, like, one of those... sort of thing. It's an interesting
thing. As long as
thing
it's not a southern state
to do. But interestingly, but again, like going back to Ted Bundy, he represented himself, and like the jury were like, "Bro, like I know you represented yourself, but you fucking did it." Like,
did he actually try and put a case forward?
He actually tried to put a case forward. He tried to plead insanity, but the judge was like, "Bro, like the fact that you're trying to represent yourself means that you're not insane."
Because they give you a free lawyer, don't they? If you
they do. If you can't provide one for yourself, they give you a free. They give you. But actually, no, that's not. Sorry, the thing that I said before about Ted Bundy representing himself and not being insane, it was the fact that he was found sane because it was like, well, look, like you tried to represent yourself. You're clearly competent. You look stuff up. Like you're not nuts. Like you go to jail, mate. Like,
I believe the motive for the crime is referred to as the mens rea. This is my speculation. I believe it's referred to as the mens rea, and that's how insanity. I believe that. I don't know if the Exchequer in England does it the same, but again in America, how insanity is judged is whether a person was able to premeditate it and whether or not they were conscious of the consequence of the actions. For example, if a murderer, if you saw someone like take their gun out of a gun locker to commit the crime, that they clearly premeditated that. They took the gun out, they loaded it, and all that sort of thing. If someone's in a coffee shop and they just fucking snap a neck, you can't say that was premeditated. Unless in their house they have a diary that says, "Dear diary, today I will go to the coffee shop and snap
and that's
a neck."
where all of it is, like, there's that sort of hazy area, and that's what's to do with, like, defendants and prosecutions trying to sort of fight for their side of saying, like, well, actually, no, he is nuts. And the prosecutor say, well, actually, no, he's not nuts. Because stuff like, it's a popularity contest, basically, is what it is.
That reminds me of an episode of American Dad, because Roger's talking about how if you're charming enough, you can get anyone to do whatever you want.
I love that.
And then he wins over the entire jury by being really charming to them. Yeah, no, and it pisses Stan off so much.
Yeah, I remember. I like that one as well. And again, it's like a sort of satire of the thing. It is a popularity contest.
Well, that's the thing. Do you remember a while ago on the social media there was that supposed mugshot of a criminal, and all these women were so thirsty about this one guy that just a criminal, just a fucking criminal, but he took a really apparently sexy mugshot that went viral on the internet, and he's now a model.
Yeah, well, it's like fucking...
Like, people just fucking, like, just for some reason, if they like a serial killer, they'll forgive them.
Well, again, fucking Ted Bundy. The fact that there are people that like Ted Bundy is, oh my god, he's like really handsome, blah, 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 blah. Like people have this weird...
Human beings are not... impulsively rational.
No.
We're not our first impulse is probably the worst decision to make.
I mean, the fact that Charles Manson managed to get married in prison is, if you've already got low self-esteem, well,
did he have money?
Think about that fact.
Did he have money?
Fuck no, he didn't have money, but he had nutty.
Because I'm about to say,
followers.
A girl with bad credit will overlook a lot of things.
Yeah, he didn't have money. He didn't have money. She was just fucking nuts as he is.
Oh, an actual Harley Quinn relationship.
Yeah. Real fucking bad. Also, fun fact, Joker and Harley Quinn, if you guys think that that's romantic, then again, seek medical help. It's not.
I think we made that point in like 5 different episodes.
But I feel that people aren't...
Do you come across it that often?
Yes! And I come across motherfuckers that think that it's romantic all the time, and I'm like, it was like, I can't. I feel like I need to keep saying it because there are a load of dumb fucks out in the world, like a bit like us, but
yeah. I guess we're at least competent, or maybe self-loathing enough. Like we're dumb fucks, but we're not vain enough to be like that. Yeah, exactly. That unself-aware.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you may hate me, but you will never hate me as much as I hate myself.
Exactly. Get in line, noob. I've been here a lot longer than you have.
Fucking casual. You think you can lay down the hate? You got nothing coming.
But speaking on maybe a last point of serial killers, do you believe serial killers should get the death penalty? And I'm not trying to make this an overall. Do you think the death penalty should exist? But given the serial killers we've spoken about, do you believe they should have all just been like maybe given the chair? I don't like the chair. Maybe the injection or something. I think the chair, the way people fucking get to watch that is fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you have to like book a ticket online to watch someone get the electric chair?
I think the families get to watch it though.
Why would they want to?
I don't know. Like if someone like murdered my family member. And then someone said, "Hey, do you want me to see them?"
Oh, the family of the person they did. Yeah. I thought you meant the family of the person being killed.
Oh no, the family of the person that did it. The family of the person that did it. I'd be like, "That's kind of fuck yeah, I want to do that."
Yeah, I guess.
I know. When I become king, I think I might institute a law. I'd be like, it's like so like there
what?
won't
Scotland.
Well, yeah, Stuart is the only royal name that I recognise, sir. But I'd be like. I think instead of having that, instead of wasting taxpayers' money, just be like, here's a room, here's the family of the person you murdered. I'm going to stick you in the room with them. They'll do it for free.
But what if the guy that did it is like kind of like fit?
Oh no, he won't be. He'll be.
Oh, you're like he'll get bound and gagged.
Yeah.
Okay, so the family can just kick him to death.
No, or whatever.
Oh, you'll leave a little tool set in there for them.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'll let them. I'll give them like a subscription service. I'll be like, so what do you want? Do you want the pliers, the car battery, the cigarettes? The cigarettes come free, actually.
So you're up for a sort of Marcellus Wallace form of justice.
Yeah.
I'll get medieval on your ass.
Yeah, but I'll make Marcellus. But I mean, let's be honest. Marcellus Wallace is a bit of a pussy.
Are you saying Marcellus Wallace looks like a bitch?
Yeah, he does. He does look a little bit like a bit. I'm thinking of sort of a Ramsay Bolton kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
To be fair, given what the Boltons are famous for, he could have done worse to Theon.
Yeah, he could have done.
Like, he punched him a little bit, cut his dick off, but he didn't flay him.
No, he didn't. But, it could be on sale if you pay the right amount of money. I'd be like, mate, look, like... Do you want the £100 subscription? Because, I'll give you a hammer and chisel. I'll do it. Anyway.
So you think serial killers should have got all the ones who got the death penalty?
No. My thing is that not lots of serial killers, but a number of serial killers, it's like you kill them. Okay, well, they're dead. I suppose the point that could be made is the fact that would you rather kill them or would you rather have them living on the taxpayer money? Could save the taxpayer money if you did just kill them.
But a lot of prisoners do jobs in prison that do contribute to society, so maybe they'd be spending the rest of their life, even if it's menial, at least working towards, like, they can sew, they could work on shit.
But nothing compared to what the taxpayer actually pay for them to keep them.
Depends on the sort of prison there is. Remember, America, they have some dismal fucking prisons living you on beans and bread.
Yeah, it's basically like slave labour. But it's like, I don't know. I feel that again, the death penalty actually doesn't really discourage people that much.
No. That's because I think because a lot of executions are delayed and so much. Like, so many people spend years on death row.
So few people actually get convicted and given the death penalty. So it's like death penalty actually doesn't. Even if it did, it's like the death penalty actually doesn't deter people at all.
Even in Texas, I think they're really trying to phase it out.
Because it's not. I feel it's not about the harshness. It's not about the harshness of the punishment. It's about the likelihood of you getting caught. It's like if you're going to commit a crime, you thought you were going to get caught.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't do it. But if you thought you were going to commit a crime, even if the punishment was really high, and you didn't think you were going to get caught, you might do it. Maybe more. I feel that the death penalty for serial killers, it's like, well, and again, they're just kind of nutty dudes, and so lots of them don't actually really.
Was society better off without them? There's what is it? What have we gotten up to now? 9 billion humans on the earth. Can we just really afford to just be well, don't need you?
Yeah, but serial killer. I mean, the amount of serial killers in the world is less than 1% of the human population. It's well,
that's more of an argument to just cull them.
Yeah, potentially, but it's well, I mean, it wouldn't stop people doing it, I think.
Does it need to? Say, for example, cutting your grass. You've cut the grass because the grass has got too long. Cutting it isn't going to be a deterrent to grass ever growing again, but it needs to be cut.
But I think that would imply the idea that, if you imprison serial killers, then they're going to carry on killing.
Well, maybe some do. I imagine the certain violent ones you need to isolate, put in solitary and confinement and that. They can't be in general population, can they?
So you kill
them? Yes. I actually do. I am an advocate for the death penalty. If you've got a pretty high body count, if you've killed one person, depending on the context, if you've eaten a little girl's fucking throat out, you're off. Yeah, you're dead. If you, again, depends on the context. If you got more than one body under your belt, yeah, you die. I don't believe it. But there are forms of execution I fucking think are just cruel and unnecessary. Hanging, which is still used in Japan. Hanging.
It is, yeah.
Hanging, the electric chair, I think that is fucking.
I don't think the electric chair used in Texas. Is it still used in Texas?
Texas uses it. I think a lot of the South still use it. That is just a fucked up form. Maybe it's just because of I think it's because of when I saw the Green Mile when they didn't put the sponge on.
I don't know if they use the electric chair still. I thought that was outlawed.
Let us know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure they do. The injection, I guess I kind of agree with, but I think they should put them to sleep first. But this is me trying to be nice to a monster. But that's the whole thing. It's about making myself feel better about killing someone, which you could almost argue is fundamentally flawed. Oh, okay, it's okay to kill a serial killer as long as I feel okay about it. No, if you're going to do it, what was it Ned Stark says? The man who gives the sentence swings the sword.
Yeah.
If I'm going to, again, the boats on the Dark Knight, if you're going to say those prisoners should die, are you going to push the button? No? Then shut up.
Yeah, that's a good scene, actually. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. There was that one guy who stood up saying, those men chose to kill, but when he had his thumb hovering above that button, so many people that say, would they advocate the death penalty? Yes. Would you do it? No.
Yeah, exactly, man. Which is why I think I would advocate,
And I'm not sure I'd be prepared to take a life, even a monster's life.
Well, it depends. I mean, if they hurt my family.
But that's the thing. That's because it's personal, sort of thing.
Exactly.
But
so therefore,
justice can't be personal.
No, it can't. But you got to face the facts first,
because that's justice and vengeance.
There is a difference. But if you're convicted, maybe it could be. I think. Well, Jeffrey Dahmer, he was killed by his cellmate. Because
of who he was, or did Jeffrey eat his bread?
No, because of who he was.
Right.
The roommate, the cellmate, found out who Jeffrey was and killed him.
That's weird. I thought people in prison only really killed like child molesters and snitches. Like but every other crime they didn't really give a shit about.
Well, I mean, look at what Jeffrey did. You know, I
think Gacy wouldn't have done well in prison.
No, he was given the death penalty.
I don't think. Did he? I mean, gays go to prison. Like, I mean, back then, because obviously there's the joke about not dropping the soap.
Well, you're on death row. If you're on death row, you know, you go to death row.
There's a funny SNL sketch of the guy that plays Keenan from Keenan and Kel, and he's like a guy on death row, and he's a review board is like, because he's a guy that you kill people, you ate a man, and like, what do you want for your last meal? A man. I want a man for my last meal. But that's the whole. I think they got rid of that now because some people. Typical, really. Some people abuse the last meal thing because they did give you whatever you want. Lobster tails, trifle, cricket. Whatever you wanted, they gave it to you. But I think in certain places now, because certain people abused it, like ordered more food than any man could eat or took the piss or whatever it was. I think one badass guy I read once ate a Bible for his last meal.
Jesus Christ. Well, actually, no, not Jesus Christ. But...
I'll always remember that, yeah. This guy had, like, believe it or not, this man had tattoos all over his face. I know that's surprising, you know, a serial killer on death row ate a Bible for his last meal. He had tattoos on his face.
Did he by chance have, like, a goat head tattooed on his chest or some shit?
I can't recall. But yeah, a guy ate a Bible for his last meal. And they've actually done that now. There's a set list you can choose from. You can't just ask for whatever you want anymore.
Yeah, I suppose it's quite difficult to do it. Oh, do you know what's fucked up about Japan, though?
What?
Japan death row. They don't fucking tell you when your execution date is. You just sit there. Just sit there, and then one day they come for you and be like, "It's your time."
That is
that is fucking cruel. I was like, literally, I was like, someone said that to me. I was like, that's not true.
And I
looked it
Japan's history. That's not surprising. Yeah, they can be vicious motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, that's not true. And I looked it up, and I was like, but it actually is. Like, you just sit on death row. No one tells you. So, like, just one day you could wake up and guards come for you and be like, mate, you're getting hanged.
Now, there's a deterrent.
And also, there is less than 10 minutes before the guard's coming from you and you actually dying.
Well,
so it's like, imagine waking up,
so no
guards
sort of priest confession or anything?
No, it's just like, guards come up, mate, you're going to die. And within 10 minutes... they're going to hang you. How fucked up is that?
I, at the very least, wouldn't want that sort of thing dragged out if I was about to die. Like, the slow walk, dead man walking.
Yeah.
Just get me to the rope as soon as possible. Like, that end of the beginning of Peaky Blinders, when they're all about to be hanged.
Yeah, season 4.
Yeah, was it the beginning or the end?
Beginning.
They were all about to be hanged and phone call next.
And, but
when
it's
did
like...
Britain outlaw hanging? I was surprised. I thought hanging was outlawed in like 1890 or something.
No. It went up to the...
I know there was firing squads for court-martials in the military, but I thought civil capital punishment was outlawed. Like, hanging was way before then.
The last British hanging was Peter Anthony Allen in 1964.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I think the death penalty still exists in this country for treason.
No, there's no death penalty in this country anymore.
I swear it existed for treason.
Well, in which case, then we should go to Westminster and hang everyone.
Well, then
or is that treason? I don't know. Fuck knows. But can you imagine though, like sitting on death row and wondering whether like the next day is going to be your last? That would be fucking awful, wouldn't it?
Again, though, it really doesn't surprise me because again, like Japanese can be. Well, we've obviously any history student knows what Japan did in their history, knows they can be very vicious and cruel.
Yeah,
as opposed to in communist China where they just take you out behind the shed and just shoot in the head.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what Unit 731 is, don't look it up.
Yeah, all you fellow weebs out there, solidarity, but don't worship what you don't know. I'm a weeb, but Japan is far from perfect.
Also, fun fact, I believe that harakiri and seppuku, harakiri I believe means stomach cutting and seppuku means cutting stomach.
They're two different things for different reasons that would take me too long to explain.
Yeah, one of them you drink sake before. Have you drunk sake?
That's rice.
It's basically lighter fuel in a bottle.
Yeah, it's very strong spirit.
Yeah, sake. For anyone that knows me, sake. I've had a shot of sake before. I'm not ashamed to say it made me feel very ill.
I guess that's why they drank it on those really long plates. It'd be such a small amount.
Exactly. I drank it and I was like, oh yeah, Jesus Christ, no wonder someone wants to kill themselves after this. Like, real bad.
Oh shit.
It's awful. Sake is terrible. It tastes awful.
I take it, given the culture, I should know this, but I don't. They're not allowed to mix it like with a vodka coke.
No.
You can't have a sake and lemonade.
No.
They might do now. I don't know. I've never been. I want to go to Japan for my honeymoon, hopefully. Anyway, I think we've covered just about everything. Rob, any final thoughts for serial killers?
Yeah, I've one final thought for serial killers.
What's that then?
And this thought, I imagine a few people probably had this thought, but I've had this thought as well, and I wonder you guys might want to put it in the comments below. But here's the question: which serial killer, if there were to be 3, and they were all stuck in a room together, name the 3 names of the serial killers, who do you think would win in a fight between all 3?
Are they armed with their famous weapon each, or?
There is one knife in the middle of the floor.
Ooh.
And they gotta Hunger Games it out.
Is it a sharp knife?
It's a knife. I mean, it's kind of pointy, I guess.
Are we talking like a butcher's knife, a small knife, or?
Let's make it a Michael Myers knife. Kind of a big kitchen knife.
Very nice, very nice. All right then.
Yeah, name your three serial killers who you'd like to see in a room together with one knife in the middle of the floor. Who do you think would win?
Real serial killers, or is this including fictional?
Oh no, real ones.
Real ones. Okay then.
Yeah, real ones. In this very unreal scenario.
All right then, guys. Let us know down in the comments what you think the answer to that one is.
And until next time, stay young, stay gold, and you've been listening to
Laughing on a Prayer.